All right, so good evening and welcome to this session of the 21-day Sahaja Yoga meditation course. If you are here for the first time or if you are a beginner, please let us know in the chat. You can send a message to our help desk and they will assign you to a separate breakout room where someone will help you out. So yesterday we looked at our Kundalini energy within us, and we also did a very special guided meditation with the flute, and which was very enlightening. So today we are going to be looking at our second energy center, our Swadhisthana chakra, and how it plays an important role in giving us our quality of creativity. So with that, we will now meet our leads for tonight, which is Kristine and Prateek. So Kristine, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Please go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Kristine and I'm from the Boston area on the East Coast of United States. And been practicing Sahaja Yoga since actually 1980, since I was very young, just a kid, but was lucky enough to run across it and have just been enjoying it ever since. I work on the administration of a small community music school, and I'm also a flute teacher and a flutist.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, we have heard you play on our program before this. So it was, we hope to listen to you again in the future sometime.
Thank you. Me too.
So we have Prateek here, who's popular for his voice, singing voice. But today he is going to be a meditation lead. So Prateek, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. It's so nice to be part of this group and this meditation sessions that's been ongoing for almost a month now, and very glad to be here again to help everyone out and to help myself through it. I've been doing Sahaj Yoga since '98 when I was a teenager, and I'm really very much, I would say, lucky to be part of Sahaj Yoga since that age, because I've found that Sahaj Yoga has helped me in all aspects of my life, and it has helped me to take wise decisions when required. And I hope with this meditation we go deeper and find our own subtle self within ourselves.
Of course.
Looking forward for the meditation sessions.
Me too. So that's great. So we also have our violinist Kalyan. Kalyan, nice to see you again. So
Sure.
what are you going to be playing for us tonight?
Yeah, so today's theme is the Swadhisthana chakra. So I'm going to be playing two ragas, which are both for Swadhisthana. They kind of have a contrasting nature. So I'm going to be playing Rag Yaman and Rag Todi.
Wow, very nice. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself as well? Because I don't believe I've
Sure.
asked you this question before.
Yeah, absolutely. So I began Saj Yoga in the year 2005. It's been a great journey ever since for me. And also the whole thing about the music, evolving as a musician, and also deepening my practice of Saj Yoga have been really complementary for me. And So there are times when I'm playing, I get into meditation, and that's when I truly enjoy the music also.
Wow.
And By profession, I work in the IT field, and I'm based out of Connecticut, not very
Okay,
far from Christine.
I see. You two should get together and maybe, form a band.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So we will now go on to our foot soak session, which will be led by Christine. So we'll just take a minute long break for all of you to prepare your foot soak, and I'll see you all at the end of this main session. See you.
So hopefully everybody has your foot soak prepared now. And I think most of the people who are joining this evening are familiar with this technique of foot soaking. If you haven't prepared a foot soak for whatever reason, if not convenient for you, or you're just this minute joining, you can still participate in the meditations, no problem. Everything that we will be doing works just as well. With or without the foot soak, or is applicable with or without the foot soak. But of course, foot soaking gives us an extra boost and an extra ability to really cleanse our system, our subtle system. So we will start with the gesture of raising our Kundalini. To the top of our head, where we tie a symbolic knot. And again. And one more time. And we can tie 3 knots. And then we put the bandhan around ourselves. This referred to as a protection. I like to think of it as creating a sacred space for ourselves. 7 times back and forth. Starting from the left hip, right over the top of our heads, down to the right hip. About 7 times. And then what we can do is, keeping our left hand open, we take our right hand and put it towards the water. And we can actually make a circular clockwise movement with our hands towards the water. And what we're doing is directing these vibrations, this energy, into the water. And while we do that, we can just ask this divine power to please activate the water and the earth element to make it effective for us to cleanse ourselves, cleanse our subtle being. And then we can place our feet into the water. And I always like to start by just checking our physical body and making sure that we are as relaxed as possible. Our feet in the water itself is relaxing. And we can make sure we're also relaxed at our knees, our hips. We can relax at our waist, our abdomen, relax all our stomach muscles. And we can relax across our chest by taking a couple of deep breaths. And releasing any tension as we breathe out. And again, this time we really can drop our shoulders and release anything that we might be holding around our neck, our shoulders, our jaw. Just letting this relax and open. And our forehead, our brow, there's so much that can be stored here in the way of worry or tension if we just let this go. And we find that we've brought our attention up to the top of our head. To the seventh energy center. And we can allow our attention to calmly remain at the top of our head while we go through a couple of cleansing techniques. First, let's take our left and right hand about the level of our temple. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull down our left and right hand side with our left and right hands and just flush them out into the water. So what we're doing is reducing the influence of the left and right sympathetic nervous system. And we're cleansing them out and clearing them of any accumulated heaviness or heat or worry or tension that may have been built up during our day. And we can do this about 6 or 7 times, just pulling down the left channel of our emotions and the right channel of our activity. And pushing it off into the water. And now let's take our right hand and we're going to draw a circle around the 6th chakra in a clockwise movement as if we were the clocks towards the left shoulder, I could say. And we're going to draw out any obstructions again from that center and toss it into the water. This is another form of abandon. We're using our hands and we're using our attention to clarify and cleanse our awareness. We can do that about 3 times. And now we'll do a similar movement, but this time at the back. So again, we're drawing a clockwise circle, but from the back, still towards the left shoulder. And toss it into the water. About 7 circles. Draw that out and toss it into the water. And now just trace the path of Kundalini with our right hand to again invite the Mother Kundalini to rise even more strongly within us. And we can touch our Sahasrara as we reach that point. And put our hand above our heads and bring our attention to that same point above our heads. We can also do the same with our left hand. And check for the flow of the cool breeze above our head. And then we'll just sit silently for one more moment. And then we can finish our foot soak. I like to just sweep from the back and kind of sweep again physically down the left and right side, right down my legs into the bowl. That's just a personal preference. Just one more brushing off and releasing of anything that maybe might otherwise get in the way of my meditation. And then we can rinse our feet into the bowl and we'll just put the foot soak bowl aside and continue with our meditation. We can dry off our feet if we have a towel handy. and resume our meditation. And today we're going to be focusing our attention on the second chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, that you see indicated here is in the lower part of the abdomen and corresponds with the aortic plexus in the spine, which governs the activity of all of the organs of the lower part of our abdomen. And on our hand, this chakra is represented on the thumb. And the pure qualities of this center are pure knowledge, pure attention, inspiration, dynamism, all of the components of creativity. And we may think of creativity at first as the province of an artist, visual artist, or a poet, or a musician even, possibly. But actually, creativity is a quality that we can bring into all aspects of our daily lives. And these components of pure knowledge, pure understanding, and what you could call a pure technique. So you may have the desire to be creative, but you also need the technique in order to fulfill that desire, to express your creativity. And so these two things work together, the desire, then the knowledge and the technique, and creates this blossoming of inspiration. Inspiration comes from the word spirit, of course. And most artists, if you talk to great artists or you read their words, recognize that this inspiration is something that they receive as a gift, that they sort of draw into themselves with gratitude, and not with a sort of necessarily a conscious control, but rather, this quality that we refer to as inspiration, a sort of a magic. And again, we all have access to those qualities, and we can use them in our relationships, in our home life, creating a beautiful domestic atmosphere for our family and for others. We can use it in our child rearing activities. We can use it in whatever walk of life we may find ourselves in our work, in our communication. So this is a quality that can penetrate into and inform all the activities of our lives. And on the right side, also, I'd like to point out that this chakra is the base of the entire right side channel. This is where the right side channel originates. And for this reason, it has a very direct connection with our attention, the strength of our attention, the ability for us to focus and direct our attention, and also control our attention. And this is going to be, I think there's going to be more elaboration on this topic tomorrow, but we will, now let's take a few moments to address those different qualities. And starting on the left side, let's take our right hand and put it across the left side of our abdomen on the lower area down by our left hip. And then as we heard in Shri Mataji's lecture from last night, the Kundalini is waiting to bestow these qualities. We just have to ask for them. So inwardly we can say, Mother, please bestow upon me the pure knowledge and the pure technique of the Spirit. Mother, please give me the pure knowledge. Mother, please make me the pure knowledge and teach me the pure technique of the divine. And now let's bring our right hand back onto our lap and take the left hand and direct the energy towards the right side of this chakra and the lower part of our abdomen near our right hip. And here we can ask Mother Kundalini, please give me pure attention. An attention which is integrated, which can focus. The attention is a direct expression of our desire. As long as we don't allow it to be pulled this way and that by outside influences. So, Mother, may my attention be an instrument of my spirit. Mother, may my attention be one with my spirit. And then we can bring our left hand back onto our laps. And ask Mother, please awaken this quality of creativity within me. And teach me to express the reality of my spirit. And the truth that I'm discovering through these vibrations, through this divine, all-pervading power. And once again, we can raise our Kundalini, tracing the path of Kundalini up to the top of our head. And while we continue to meditate, we'll now listen to and watch a lecture, a couple of excerpts of 2 lectures of Shri Mataji. The first one is about going deeper, which is something we can all take advantage of all the time. And the second excerpt is about relaxing and allowing the divine attention to work things out for us. So let's continue to meditate while we listen to these lectures.
When you come for a program, there are many others who are already feeling vibrations. And you don't feel it. It's like, you see, they have a property and you don't have, sort of a thing. So, your mind which has worked through competition, mind which has worked through realizing that somebody has something I don't have, haves and have nots, you see. That mind starts putting fear into your head. Oh God, will you have it or not? Will I get it? Or even if I get it, will I lose it? And that fear I see on the faces of many new people. Give up that fear. You are all going to get your realization. Give up that fear. You have not entered into any competition here. Just to relax. Just relax now. Then the more you want to do about Sahaja Yoga, again you are tense. I have to meditate early in the morning, I have to get up tomorrow early in the morning. You see, you go on pestering yourself. Whole night you won't sleep. And when you are meditating, you are dozing. Relax. God is looking after you, believe. He is going to give you realization and He is going to look after you and He is going to wake you up in the morning too. But relax. The first idea that I can do it is wrong. He has to. It's not working out because you think you can do it. If you can come to this conclusion that I cannot do it. It is His mercy, His graciousness has to come. But after realization, you have to do something in the sense you have to desire. But when I say you have to desire it, again you will say, all right, now I am going to sit down here and nail myself to this place and I am going to sit down and desire it. This desire is a dead desire. You see, just pushed onto your head that, oh, I must desire, mother has told I must desire. You have to be hungry. You don't say that I have to desire that I have to be hungry, do you? The hunger is from within, which is there, no doubt, but is clouded. The hunger is clouded because you have fear. If you put a goat before a tiger and give him to eat, he will reduce with that eating whatever it is. Because it has that fear that there is a tiger which is going to eat me. So first kill all the imaginary tigers around. Again we come back to the same. That desire must come from within. And it is there, but is clouded. Relax. It should not be that I am very relaxed. It's childlike. It's simple. A relaxed person is just like a child. So not to get frantic, try to relax. That's all. For everyone. But relaxation never means that you are inactive. On the contrary, the person who is relaxed is extremely active on the exterior, but inside is absolutely silent. Absolutely relaxed and at ease. Outside you may feel, as you know now, at this time, tremendous vibrations are flowing. And I can see the flow, tremendous. And all the chakras are doing like this around me. But I see them and they are playing. At the most I may stop talking. But it is flowing. So whether it is for the seeking or for anything else in the world, the first thing is that you must take an attitude of a relaxed witness. If you can do that, then those who are not feeling vibrations will definitely feel. I've seen people on whom I've been working, it wouldn't work out. Of course, they were not rude or even arrogant, but felt very sad that they couldn't get the vibration. So I said, all right, today you go and enjoy the flowers in the garden, enjoy the birds, and talk to the sky and come back to it. It works out. Because you have been always like this. In Sahaja Yoga, you don't have to achieve anything. You become. I'm happy that you all were meditating here and were trying to develop your depth. You all have depth, a very deep personality within yourself. But we have to touch that. That's very important. Because you see, we sing, have music, that's a very good thing. We enjoy each other's company also is very good. And that's a nice thing. But we have to enjoy our own company also. By meditating, going within yourself. Now, what is the use? One may ask, Mother, now we have got realization, we have a nice life, we are enjoying ourselves, we are doing so well. The deeper you go, the deeper you touch the essences of all the things, like all the elements. When you had finished your meditation, you saw how the rain fell down, how the rain came suddenly. So, rain has felt your depth, or you have felt the depth of rain. Now, you know that if you light one little candle and put your finger towards it, with my photograph there, it acts, it reacts, and it gives you a flame which burns, sometimes gives you smoke, sometimes it uh, gallops. So you have noticed that there's a reaction even in the fire. So all elements have got an effect if a saint wants to have an effect. But first of all, you must reach your own essences. Once you reach your own essences, then you reach the essences of all the elements. And then you can handle all the elements as you like, or you can order them as you like. First, they will act, expressing that they have been touched. Like today, the rain came pouring down. Then later on, you can command and you can ask the rain to come to work out many things of that kind. We have to be deep. We have to go much deeper within ourselves to touch our essences. That is, you know very well that all our chakras are made out of these essences. And when we go deep into ourselves, what we find that we can touch the elements very well. While doing so, actually we move horizontally. When we start moving horizontally, at the core of it, we find that there are these essences placed. And these essences then start exciting the essences across. Like in the radio, you have seen this ether. Now, when you speak on one side of the radio, it gets completely manifested in the essence of the ether, and then everybody can hear it. Now, when you people just give a bandhan, sometimes you find that you have communicated with another person. But that's only the essence of the ether, or we can say the subtler of the subtlest. People have only gone onto the subtler side, we can say, by science, but you go to the subtlest side, and that subtlest side gives you all these effects.
Let's stay in meditation with our eyes closed and absorb the vibrations.
Let's continue to meditate, keeping our attention on our hands, and staying as relaxed as possible. Praying to this divine energy. Mother, please take me into that meditative state. Shri Mataji, please take me into that meditative state where I am one with my desire, the pure desire. Let's now pay attention on our hands. We can raise our hands at the level of our heart. Put it towards Shri Mataji's picture and just ask within, Mother, please show me the state of my chakras on my hands. Please show me the state of my chakras and my subtle system on my hands. Now let's again take our attention to our Swadhisthana chakra, to the second energy center. We can use our right hand. Put our right hand on the left part of our Swadhisthana, and here just express this desire. Shri Mataji, let me feel the pure desire within. Mother, please let me feel the pure desire within. O Mother, please remove all the impure desires, all the impure knowledge that I have accumulated in this center. Please remove it. There is only one pure desire, to be the Self, to be the Spirit. Please remove all other impure desires from this energy center. Please awaken within me the pure desire and the pure knowledge that manifest in me. Awaken within me the pure knowledge of the divine. While we are saying these affirmations, let's also put our attention on the left thumb or on the left Swadhisthana, on the left abdomen, lower abdomen. We can make circular motion on our left Swadhisthana with the purest desire and the desire to go deeper, to know ourselves. Mother, please remove all the impurities from this energy center. Please fill my center with the pure knowledge of the divine. The Nirmala Vidya, the pure knowledge. We can bring back our right hand at the level of our heart or on the lap, whichever is comfortable. And now we can work on our right Swadhisthana, on the right part, using our left hand, right hand towards Shri Mataji's picture. And this is the support of the entire right channel in us. All our actions, all our physical strength, mental activities start from this center. Let's express that humility to this power within us, which has created us, created each and everything around us. And just express that humility to that power. O Mother, verily, you are the doer. I do nothing. Verily, this power is managing everything for me. Please relax my Swadhisthana. Please fill my Swadhisthana with your divine vibrations. As we pray these affirmations that we take, let's be alert and see what we are feeling on our thumb or on the right side of our Swadhisthana. Please, Mother, please purify my attention. Remove all the heaviness from my attention. Please remove all the anger, all the doer feelings, all the excessive planning and heat that is still settled down in the center. Please remove it. This is the seat of pure attention, the Nirmal Chit. Let's bring both our hands back on our lap or on at the level of our heart. And try to feel on our hands or on the top of our head that relaxation. With our right hand now, we'll clear the left side of our Vishuddhi. So we can just give circular motion with our right hand on the left side and here affirm very strongly within ourselves. Shri Mataji, I am a pure spirit. I am not guilty at all and I do not condemn myself. Let this pure knowledge remove all the impure knowledge that is settled in my left Vishuddhi. And here, just pray, Mother, please remove all my guilt. All my guilt. I do not condemn myself. I am not guilty. I do not condemn myself. Bring back our hand. And now try to see on your hands what you feel. Mother, please take my attention deep within me, where I am one with my spirit. Please enlighten my attention and purify my attention with your divine vibrations. And please integrate my attention with my desire and let it come on my Sahasrar at the top of my head. With that intent, let's raise our Kundalini along our central channel, reciting Om 3 times, and with that emotion that this will integrate our pure action, pure desire on our Sahasrar. So let's say Om, and we will move our right hand along our central channel and bring on top of our head. Let's take our hand a little higher, few inches above our head, and try to feel the vibrations that are coming out of our head and touching our hand. And let's stabilize our attention at that point. Let's do the same thing with our left hand, on top of our head. It might go in even higher, as high as it can be. Feel that point where you are feeling the cool breeze on your hand. Try to stay there in that silence. And now let's just meditate in this silence with complete surrenderance to this divine power. There are no thoughts, and slowly all the heat is gone. And we are one with that all pervading power which is nourishing all our centers. So let it do its nourishment inside, and we become mere spectator of that. With these vibrations, let's raise our Kundalini and then put ourselves into Bandhan. Before doing, let's just humbly fold both our hands and pay our gratitude to this energy, to our Divine Mother. for raising us higher, much higher into this awareness. Now, slowly we'll raise our Kundalini. First time, raising very slowly with our attention, and then tying one knot on the top of our head. Second time, 2 knots. Third time, 3 knots. Now, just for a moment, see again on your hands if the sensitivity to vibrations have increased. And keeping complete attention on those vibrations, let's give ourselves a bandhan from our left hip to the right, taking it above our Sahasrara. Doing it 7 times for the 7 chakras. Let's try to remain in this state throughout the session and see if these vibrations guide us when we talk, when we share our experience. What do we feel on our hands and inside? Let's try to be in that state with whatever activity we are doing. Now I will hand it over to Vivek.
All right. So thank you so much, Prateek, for that wonderful meditation. Thank you to Kalyan for his wonderful music as well, and to Kristine for guiding us through that good soap. So let us look at what we are going to be doing tomorrow. It is going to be a continuation of what points were touched on today, mainly in relation to our own attention and what we can do to stabilize and improve its quality so that we can improve our meditation also. So we, as usual, have our resources. There's the website, and the affirmations for clearing the chakras is a good handout because it has sort of collated all the necessary affirmations in 3 columns, each one for each channel. So please do have a look at it. We will share it in the chat right now. And it's also has been posted on all the WhatsApp groups. And it will be shortly uploaded on the website as well. So if you haven't already, please do join the WhatsApp group. The link will be posted in the chat. It's really helpful for us to notify you of our sessions and share more insights and more knowledge about Sahaja Yoga on those groups. And it's highly recommended that you get in touch with a mentor who is a yogi who's been practicing Sahaja Yoga for some time. And the good thing about it is that you can avail of their guidance, their advice, the years of wisdom that they have gathered. And you can ask for a mentor either through the survey form, which will be shared in the chat, or if you're already part of a WhatsApp group, you can just put your request on there and someone will guide you through the process. So for our Spanish speakers, as usual, we have a Spanish breakout room. So kindly let us know in the chat if you would like to join a Spanish breakout room, and someone will help you go there as well. And so let us begin our feedback session. Again, if you have questions or experiences that you feel need the attention of an individual person, like a yogi who can help you with the vibrations, who can help you clear out your subtle system, or any personal questions you might have, please do ask for a separate breakout room in the chat, and they'll help you out. So you can send all these chat messages to our help desk, and they will assign you to a breakout room. All right, so let's start our live feedback session. So if you have any questions, any experiences you would like to share, please raise your hand on Zoom. That way I can see you and ask you to come forward to speak. So it's nice to see all our leads and musicians for tonight. All right. Does anyone have anything to say? No?
I think everyone's a little too thoughtless now.
Thoughtless. Maybe we can excite some thought in them. So Kristine, why don't you go ahead and tell us some of your experiences with Sahaj Yoga?
Okay. I'll just talk a little bit more about my early days with Sahaj Yoga, without going into too much detail, but there was something that I wanted to share. So as I said before, it was 1981, and I was fresh out of college and just moved to this area. My husband, who is now my husband, was still in school. So we were quite young and not really established in our lives yet. But my husband had been introduced to Sahaj Yoga in England. And, you know, I felt, having met him and heard about Sahaj Yoga, we felt a desire that we would go to England to meet Shri Mataji and to hear where she was then living and giving regular public programs, I think mostly in Caxton Hall, when she wasn't traveling around the world. And so we looked into that and found, lo and behold, that she was actually coming to the States, which was fantastic. She was coming to New York to spend a week, and you know, it's just so near to where we are. And we invited her to come to Boston to give a program, which she did. And that was really my big introduction to Sahaj Yoga. It was sort of a crash course, if you like. It was all, you know, it's so new to me, and I hadn't really deeply experienced the meditation up until that point. But then, you know, had this heavenly week, or a couple of weeks, where she was, you know, we were in her company in Boston, and then later we went to New York, and you know, really gave public programs there. We met so many others that were practicing Sahaj Yoga and learning from them. So after that, then we went home, and I could say personally, I was like, where did it go? I was, you know, after having had such, you know, quite remarkable experiences, when I went home to back to my regular life and kind of regular routine and tried to meditate, I was not really having the same experience that I had had when I was in her company or with the company of other yogis. And I sort of, you know, really wanted to mention this because the journey is, you know, a spiral journey. The journey of our ascent is really a spiral journey. And I had to learn that, and I just sort of, you know, at that time also we were alone in Boston. We had no established center of any kind in Boston. It was pretty much up to us that we would do that. So, you know, after about 6 months of going, am I doing something wrong? Where did those cool vibrations go? You know, and sort of, you know, I wouldn't call it doubt, but just a little puzzlement, we decided that we would travel to England this time. We would go because actually my husband's family lived there. And we traveled to England, and in London, Shri Mataji was living in London, and there was also established a group house of some people, Sahaja Yogis, who decided they would live together. You could call like an ashram to practice, to kind of further this practice of Sahaja Yoga. And lo and behold, then I started feeling again, I started really having deep experiences again. And to me, what it really told me and really clarified for me is that why it's important for us to do this together, that we really need each other's support. And it doesn't mean that if you're alone and you're meditating and maybe you don't feel so much at that time, it doesn't mean that that's not useful. It is, usually more is going on than you can really feel, I think, in general, because it takes us a while to develop our sensitivity. I think in general, there's more happening than we may be aware of. And when we start to really be aware of it, I mean, how much more profound is that? Like when we're really putting attention on feeling the vibrations, the way Prateek was explaining, and really, remembering the way Sylvia was telling us yesterday, really remembering that we have Kundalini and going to that and really asking for that. So we get more and more into the habit of doing that. And, it's guaranteed that that will have a result. But this community that we've developed, which has now become a worldwide community of working with each other and helping each other and getting together with each other, is such an important part of this process. So, and that was what I found out. I was like, oh, okay, there it is again, and it was so joyful for me because I met several different people in England. And I'll just cap off the story by saying that, at that time we were thinking, well, how can we really, get Sahaja Yoga started and really develop a community of Sahaja Yoga in America, which really didn't exist at that time. And for that purpose, Shri Mataji invited us to her home, and myself and my husband and a few other Sahaja Yogis went there, and we started talking. She gave us advice about how to run the meetings. And I think she could see that we were very, we were I just think of myself as just being sort of clueless at that time, because I was still, we were still quite young, we were like in our early 20s. And she said, you need to maybe do something to just be a little more impressive, make a real impression when you talk to people about Sahaja Yoga. Maybe you should wear, she said, to my husband, maybe you should wear a kurta. And to me, she said, maybe you should wear a sari. And this is sari, and I was like, well, I don't have the slightest idea about a sari. And the next thing I know, she went into her bedroom and into her dresser, and she took one of her saris and gave it to me as a gift. And I get goosebumps when I think of that. But I mean, honestly, this is from my experience, is very typical of Shri Mataji. She was so generous. And the sari she gave me is my most favorite sari, is most beautiful sari, it's most comfortable sari. And, we, all of us, I think everyone in the room was like, just all felt like they all had been given a gift with that moment. And I definitely just felt like, okay, well, I'm going to definitely learn how to wear a sari now, because when we go back to America. So anyway, I think the big point that I sort of wanted to make, and that was sort of a scan of about, almost a year, is just that experience that I had of sort of like having a little dip and kind of wondering if I was doing it right and what was happening. And then having this kind of, renewal of the experience of self-realization. And just for everyone who's listening, to be patient with yourselves and to be patient with this process. It is a growth process. It is a spiral process. It's a living process. It's not a linear process, right? It's not, okay, point A, point B is not always going to be a straight line, okay? Because you don't learn very much that way necessarily, I think, is one thing I might say. So go on the journey, definitely go on the journey and take advantage of the people who have kind of been a little bit further down the road than you've been, who are also still on their journey. I mean, the journey is continuing for me, I can guarantee that,
Mhm. Yeah.
and we really all are on this journey together. And so
Right.
thank you all who are joining tonight. You are part of our journey, and it's a real gift to us that you're here. And I can't stress that enough. We thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And the last point that you made, it is like I am also very grateful to all the people who have joined as participants, because um, this course is an excuse for me to improve my own meditation, and to do it in a collective manner, which is something I have never experienced before this. So that's
Right. Yes.
at least on such a consistent basis, like day after day after day. That's really working out something deep.
Right.
All right, so Victoria has something to share today. Victoria, please go ahead. You are muted again. Could you unmute yourself? Yes.
How's that? Okay.
Great.
Thank you. I I'm finding that I personally just love this sense that the Kundalini Mother is my personal spiritual mother within. And I've been noticing, especially today, I noticed I had a little bit of unstructured time, and I noticed that I wanted to interact with her, communicate with her when I wasn't doing any of these structures. And so I stood in my living room and I just stood opening, raising my Kundalini, giving myself a bandhan. I noticed that I had this desire to bless each of my chakras as a center of divinity. I love, somewhere we've talked about that, and to acknowledge the qualities of each chakra as a center of my own divinity, of my body temple. And so I gave myself the bandhan, and then I just allowed kind of spontaneous movement to come through and feelings to come through. And I just had my little chat with her. And it felt really so intimate and so loving and settling. And I asked her to help me keep the Kundalini present with me as I went through my day. And then, of course, as I got in my day, it was very easy not to notice that anymore. And maybe it was there, but I wondered if you could advise about how to sustain that awareness. And is it like, do I need to actually keep putting my awareness in the space on top of my head, or do I just sort of trust that it's there, or is there something else to do as I'm going through my day?
Okay. So Kristine, please.
Sure. Well, I'd say it's a little bit of both. The fact that you find that you get caught up in your day and everything like that is really normal. That really happens to everyone. And that's why we set aside part of our day where this is what we concentrate on. And I love your story about, finding your own personal relationship with it. It's so heartfelt, and that's, worth so much. So, the practice of meditation itself is going to make this make this awareness more and more available to you. So it will be easier to reestablish that connection. It will be easier to find yourself in thoughtless awareness. And the overall level is going to very, very gradually rise. And you may not always notice it. You may not realize how far you've come. And in a way, that's part of the beauty of it, right? Because it's a living process. Like, we don't notice that we're breathing, or that our body responds, and does what it needs to do to keep the balance, is physically what so much our body does. But we don't always have to think of it in, in a very direct way, that consciously. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we do want to, and we do want to ask for that and just say, here, may bring me back here, may I keep there. But it's spontaneous, and sometimes we're going to be not reacting, but we're going to be sort of recording what's going on in our atmosphere, in our environment, in our work environment, in our family also. So if we feel like things have gotten heavy or gotten difficult, or that feels like that's happened, it could be something that we're working on behalf of our society, family, or whatever. So that's another reason why I think just keeping the trust in the process, and that it's happening, the growth is taking place. And again, sometimes you don't notice it until you come back around to some place that you were before, and you're experiencing it differently. I'm not sure if that may be a little vague, but we used to have these trips to India that were tours of India, that were like month-long seminars, and people would go on them to different. Went on like 3 or 4 of them, and when I went back, like for the second one, I realized I was experiencing it differently, which told me that in the meantime, I had been growing more than I realized, and vice versa. When I came back home, I was in India, and maybe I wasn't realizing how much I was growing in India. And when I came back home, I just felt like so different, because when I got back into that other environment, I felt that. So anyway, sort of a long-winded answer. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
It does. And also, I'm glad you mentioned about sometimes we may pick up on some of the heaviness of what's happening in the collective and be working on it on behalf of. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, definitely, very much. Yeah.
I really resonate with that, because my life is sort of in service to this idea of planetary evolution and ascension, and
yes,
a higher consciousness. And I sometimes think I'm almost heavy with compassion in a way, because I'm noticing all the suffering and the pain everywhere, and
right. You figure out how to do that, how take on what you're able to take on, in a detached way also, that is actually going to be the best way that your attention, which is enlightened now, can generate a positive change. So you're never, and what I'm saying is, you're usually never asked to take on by the divine to take on something you can't handle. So you shine your light where you can shine it, and just but there's little bit challenges arise, and in our environment, in ourselves, we have very many different levels that we're working through just on our own behalf as well. And
that's great. So thank you so much, Victoria, for your question.
Thank you, Victoria.
So let's before we go on to our next question, let us see if Kalyan has some stories to share.
Sure. Let me share a story similar to what Kristine was sharing. In the early days of coming into Sahaja Yoga, that was in the year 2005 that I got my realization. And what was so great for me to notice is that obviously I was a seeker, I was so eager to learn more, but the people who were helping me were even more eager. That was so, I couldn't imagine why that would be the case, but they were so eager to share. And they really helped me grow quite a lot in the initial few weeks and months after I got my realization. And it so also happened that Shri Mataji came to New Jersey in that year, and there were collective meditation programs. And I was so new, and I was so blessed to be part of those. And as I went through that process, in Sahaj Yoga, there are two things that are talked about a lot, right? One is the cool breeze, the other is the thoughtless awareness, right? So, I was always thinking, oh, I have to be thoughtless awareness and I have to feel the cool breeze. And it was almost like I was putting an effort towards getting that experience, and a lot of times it wasn't happening. And when I was in this seminar, I was like so much looking forward to it, because it is like so many people all over the world have come there. They're all yogis. It's so vibrated. And Shri Mataji herself came on the third day of the seminar. So the first 2 days I was thinking, oh, somehow I should get this. Before I see her in person, I have to be in that state. So I was working towards it, but it was really not happening. So we had Shri Mataji come over. I went through the entire meditation, and even at that time, right, I was feeling quite a lot of heat coming out from my body. And I was a little upset. Oh, I'm supposed to be feeling cool breeze, and why not? But after the program, it's quite common for yogis to kind of hug each other. And so there was one yogi who came pretty fast towards me, and he gave me a hug. When he did that, he actually put his neck on my neck, very close, and just gave me a tight hug. And at that time, it was like it just opened out, and it was such a huge rush of the Kundalini coming to my Sahasrara, and I was so much in bliss at that time.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. How did he know, and how did that happen, and all that? I was so much, in a different state. And then I just stayed in that state for quite some time, um, for a few days actually. And that was the time that I could really feel that thoughtless awareness, the cool breeze, everything coming at the same time. So, and like Christine said, there are times when it lasts for a while. It doesn't last all the time, right? You have to go through that spiral. But that was just a beautiful experience.
That's so amazing. Beautiful. Wonderful. So we had Pariza had a question, but I can't see her anymore in the main session. So I hope someone answered it for her in the breakout room. Um, okay, so does anyone else have something to share? Any questions? Because what we can do is just sit in silent meditation for some time, and then we can move from there with our session. So let's just all keep our eyes closed, our hands out, and just put our attention on the top of our head. So we can slowly open our eyes. We can proceed with our session. So that brief interlude was just to show that meditation can be very spontaneous. You don't need to uh, just with your attention, you can go into meditation. So, oh, great, Victoria has something to say. Go ahead, Victoria.
Hi, again. I actually have a question. I wondered if you could clarify the difference between thoughtless awareness, this neutral witness, and pure attention.
Prateek, would you be able to address that question?
Yeah, I'll try to answer because I'm really thoughtless right now. So, yeah, thoughtless awareness is just that state where you know how this one thought comes and the other just comes after it. So, thoughtless awareness is just a state where there is like there are no more thoughts. You are aware, you are not sleeping, or you're not you are being alert. You know what's going around you, but still you are in thoughtless. So, for example, if you are driving, if you are thoughtless, you are in that state. You are driving in a thoughtless awareness state. So it's just a state where you don't have any thoughts, and you're not actually being bothered, or you're not being disturbed by the thoughts that are coming, and you take it like a very and actually your other part was like being the spectator, right? So when you are in thoughtless awareness, you grow that witness state, you expand that witness state. So you become, as in, it's like it goes hand in hand. So when you go into thoughtlessness, you become witness of your own thoughts. You see that, oh, this thought is coming in me. Otherwise we are like a part of that when we don't have when we don't have that witness state, like we are part of those thoughts, and we get disturbed or carried away. If something happens, then we try to like relate to it as if something has happened to us. But then when we are in thoughtless awareness, we go into that witness state automatically, and then we witness those thoughts as if it's something else. We see ourselves as a third person.
Mm.
And then how it helps to purify us is like, as we expand that, as we grow deeper into our meditations, our attention becomes more and more pure. Like we won't have the materialistic ideas that tries to tries to bother us. Our attention will not pay any heed, or we will not pay any kind of attention, will not be distracted by those. So our attention will be guided by all these three things. So pure attention will come to you when you expand your thoughtless awareness, and that the witness state will grow along with it. And by pure attention, how it works in Sahaja Yoga, or what I have experienced, is it acts. It's not like just something like, for example, if there is a problem, you put your attention to that, and then you will be amazed that that problem is solved. You may not be even like, from sitting here, you can put attention to some problem, and if it's benevolent, and if it's supposed to happen the right way, the your pure attention can actually solve problems after realization.
Mm.
So that's the power of attention. And it's all integrated. That's the beauty of it. Like, it's in Sahaj Yoga, everything is so much integrated. So like, when you expand your thoughtless awareness, you go into that witness state more and more, and then your attention becomes more and more purer.
Mm.
I hope
That's beautiful. One more clarification. When I'm noticing during the meditation, paying attention to what's happening in my hands and sensations that may be in my head or on my body, which category of awareness is that?
Yeah, that's one of the that's really a good question, Victoria. And like, as like Sahaj Yoga practitioners or Sahaj Yogis, also we also sometimes go into that trap of like when we are too much worried about, oh, I'm catching here, this is heat, you know. So that time we lose that state, and then that's when we get carried away by our own kind of judging ourselves a lot. But that if we do that in a witness state, like how we did just this maybe 5 minutes, I don't even remember how long we were doing this meditation again, which Vivek did, and then I was feeling some heat and suddenly it was gone. I mean, so it becomes, you know, I mean, it always, it's a state. I mean, you like surrender yourself to that power, and then that power takes over it, and then you will be amazed at how it works.
Okay, that helps, because sometimes I feel like the noticing part is very busy and it doesn't necessarily feel like I've meditated after that. And
Right.
so it's a more relaxed maybe noticing where I don't have to necessarily do anything about it.
Yeah, and also like Sahaj Yoga is always about balance. So it doesn't mean, okay, I'm feeling catches, I can live by it. So there's also another side to it. Like if you're feeling some, if persistently you are feeling certain things on your finger, like for continuously for like a day or two, or like if you're constantly feeling it, maybe just meditate on it, pray to Mother Kundalini to work on it, and then maybe that problem, the problem will be solved, and then it may be help, like it may help you um, um, to solve other problems, which like how Christine told, like we may be solving, we may be clearing our societies around or helping out someone we don't even know. Because when we are in that state, our silence acts. We don't have to even say. Like when we go, like how the Kundalini reacts, or like in front of Shri picture, even like our state becomes it's towards that direction. So people do feel peaceful when they are in the company of Sahaj Yogis.
Is it cheating if I say I mean, I get in the trap of trying too hard sometimes. And I just loved, we had a discussion where somehow someone came up with the language of, Mother, just make my chakras beautiful. And I loved that because it's so sweet and innocent. And it's like, I can just get out of trying so hard. But is that cheating if I sort of use that as a rule of thumb?
No, it's just I mean, I don't feel it's cheating, or it's from your spirit, and it is above all. I mean, once it's even above your brain, but here we are talking about integration again. So it's always a balance. You have to see in that witness state what kind of thoughts are coming and what you're feeling on your hands. So that's equally important as well. But then again, you have to weigh in, like you have to balance out. It's not like you're clearing, like you're doing certain activity, because that becomes kind of a conditioning to us, and then it loses its importance, you know. I mean, uh, but the main thing is to be in meditation. All these tools and techniques are for us to go into that state of meditation, to that state of thoughtlessness.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next question. And I'm sort of pushing it because a couple of people have been waiting patiently for some time now. So we'll move on to Kyle. Kyle, please go ahead.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So not a question, but I just wanted to share my experience tonight. The leads were absolutely outstanding. Kristine, what a great way to bring the attention to the top of the head. How you introduced it tonight. The music went to a different level. And Prateek, it just by the end, I was and I still am, just very thoughtless, and it was a very deep meditation. And I don't know if I speak for the group, but I think that's probably why the Q&A is a little quiet today. I think you just brought us all to another level, and it was absolutely beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
That's wonderful.
We're all together in it.
Thank you.
Great. So Beena has something to say. Beena, please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everybody. It was Christine. It was wonderful. Prateek, your answers are also very good. I was just wondering, yesterday I couldn't join because I was doing meditation and then I got like my spirit was light, but my whole body was so heavy. And also, I was wondering what's happening. Like, I was going off and on, so I couldn't attend that. So, I was wondering, like, I was in such a great mood and I did my salt water and all. I started doing as a ritual, like when you come from outside and you do it. And then when you want to pray, so you do it, right? So I was wondering what's going on. Then I couldn't, I said, just surrender. So my question is, like surrendering completely and going beyond that thoughtlessness awareness. What are the steps to do that? And second thing is that, like when we do meditation, the music that enhances us or that becomes obstruction sometimes, or like some mantras or some affirmations or breathing, like what should we focus on, or should we not focus on anything, just be as we are? That's what I wanted to know.
Okay, great. So Kalyan, if you could give us the answer to that, be helpful.
I will try. Yeah, so um, I think the effortlessness is the key, right? So if you are thinking a lot about what should I do and what will help and what should I not do, then you are kind of going a little off to the side, right? So it's better to keep it spontaneous, because this process that happens within us is like, once the seed sprouts on the mother earth, it grows, right? So it's as natural as that. So, and then yeah, so we have to create the right conditions. We have to have sunlight, we have to have water, we have to have air and so on, and a lot of love. That's about it. So if you approach it with love, that takes care of everything.
Okay.
So if music helps you, use the music. If you think it's too much, I mean, it's not a good idea to have music every time you meditate, right? So like
And can
Prateek
we
says,
go,
it's a
can we do
balance.
walking meditation too?
Yeah, if you want to go out for a walk in the nature, that really helps you, brings a lot of freshness. And while you do that, you can kind of keep your attention subtle inside,
Yeah.
and that'll take you deeper into meditation very naturally.
Yeah.
And yeah, you bring up a great point, right? Meditation is not just about sitting in one place and then doing it like a ritual. So meditation is a state, right? So you can get into that while you're doing something else as well. In fact, that's the idea, that to be in that state while you're doing everything.
No, because your meditation is teaching me we are made of elements and we should be close to elements as close as possible in being the way animal live, the way tree lives in water, air, and space, and like so that's what we should do, right? And we live in very unnatural conditions, extra heat or extra cold, ACs and all this. Like I don't know what I'm noticing in everything, and I was again now noticing that do we do any Nishkam Bhav Seva? Like the way bird sings for us without asking anything, the way river gives us water, the way tree, what do we give to the earth? Aren't we a burden on the earth? So then I was just thinking to talk to you guys about it. Then anyway, that question went away. It didn't bother me much, but still it lingered in my mind that like it's okay, whatever we do like we get pleasure out of it, right? Suppose if I'm doing meditation, I feel good about it, right? So, like, what is a Nishkam Bhav Seva also? Like I don't know whether Divine Mother guides you to do it spontaneous. It happens. It happens. You don't plan for it. It does happen. But like, there's so many questions coming up, like and you are totally within. You're not aware of your what is going on in outside you, but you are going inside, and a lot of things are coming up.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
that's what
yeah,
I was
so
thinking.
yeah, that was quite a lot. Say one thing I would like to say is that we are instruments
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
So we are not the ones to plan and do and all that, right? So we are instruments, and after we get this self-realization and the connection to the divine uses us as its instruments to do what it needs to do, right? And the energy that flows through us, it's almost like the river flowing. So the river just flows, it's not attached to anything, but it's
right.
helping, it's benevolent. So in the same way, the energy that's flowing through us is benevolent to the entire world. and it guides us so we can help each other, we can help ourselves. So that nishkam bhav that you're talking about becomes very automatic,
Okay.
and we become benevolent by nature because that's our nature. The spirit is benevolent.
I agree. Yeah. It's wonderful. Thank you. I hope I was not asking the questions which were not important. It just came to my mind.
No, it
That's why I
was
was
very
asking.
beautiful question. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Kalyan. Thank you, Kristine. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
It was a great question and a better answer, I would say. Beautiful.
No, because discussion makes it much better, right?
Mhm.
Like you get more understanding. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Dina, for your questions. Um, so I think we will, because we are drawing close to the end of the session, uh, we will just ask Prateek to share some of his experiences and then we conclude.
Uh, I'll just share one of the experiences that coming to my mind because this is the day of Swadhisthana, the day of creativity. And it becomes your second nature, I believe. Like when you come, you get your realization because spirit is the most creative thing that can ever be. So when I was in my ninth grade, I think, and we used to go to the center, like places where people come together and meditate. We call them centers. And there at the center, there was one harmonium. And I've been fond of music throughout my childhood. I like singing, and it just comes to me. I don't know how, but it just comes. And there was one harmonium which was not being used. It was just there, and then we were singing something, and I suddenly grabbed it. I don't know from how that happened to me, and I just started playing. I never played harmonium before in my life, and to my amazement, it became so easy for me to pick it up, and then um, um, whenever I play it, like I'm relaxed when I'm playing it, and it gives me that joy. And I was not sure what's going on. I was just enjoying it being in the ninth and tenth grade. I mean, nobody thinks that much, but so now when I see it retrospect about it, it was like just the creativity within, which was which was awakened, and then it became so obvious. And I'm just amazed and also very blessed to be part of this group. I'm blessed by Shri Mataji to have received that gift, of which I was not even aware.
Well, we are certainly glad that you decided to pick up that harmonium, which, if people are not familiar, is an Indian instrument.
Yeah,
But you have played it, right, Prateek? You,
yeah. In the first 21 days program, I played
yeah.
Yes,
one.
he did play a very good one. I remember that. Beautiful one. See how you got unfolded your gift. So lucky you are.
So that's what I mean. I think this awakening does to us. We are not, that's the nishkam. I mean, I don't know if I give just that explanation, but you don't even become aware and you are part of a big workout.
True, very true. All right, so that was a beautiful story to end our session tonight with. So tomorrow we are going to be looking at going to be paying attention to our attention, and we are going to be seeing how what we can do to improve it, and what role it plays in our meditation. So please do join tomorrow. We are looking forward to having you there, and wish you all a very good night and a beautiful week and a weekend ahead of you. So thank you, and see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
And if you haven't already, please dispose your foot soap water. Yeah.